Hello and welcome to our very scary edition of Fiction Addictions featuring Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. And watch as I scare myself so.
Hey y'all, welcome back to our very bookish channel. And my name is Amanda. If you're new here, thanks for clicking on this video. And I run this channel with my friend Jen. We love to share all of our thoughts, feelings, bookish content, anything that has to do with reading or books or book merch or anything. We like to share it on this channel. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And in today's video, we are so excited because it is becoming fall, okay? It is sweater weather. I always have a hard time saying that. Sweater weather. And I don't really like sweaters per se, but I live in crew neck sweatshirts and sweatshirts, hoodies, you know, that soft, comfortable material. I just feel like they're so much more comfortable than sweaters. The material feels so much better to me than sweaters. But nonetheless, it is that time of the year you can wear your sweaters, crew neck sweatshirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts comfortably everywhere you go because it's getting cool outside and it is the perfect time to snuggle up and read. I just feel like fall is the best time for reading. It is overall my absolute favorite season for multiple reasons. One, I love the weather. I love the cool crisp in the air, the cooling down from all the heat in the summer. I love obviously being able to wear sweatshirts and crew neck sweatshirts. I love the reading atmosphere. There's just something magical about the leaves changing color and falling all over the ground. And I also love college football. So I live all year long for college football. In about February, after we haven't had football for a couple of weeks, I'm like missing football already. So I get super pumped about college football. So anyways, to kick off this season of amazing reads, that's what I'm calling it because my summer reading was not so good. So this fall is going to be my season of amazing reads. And we are going to be reading Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. I've never read this author before. There has been a lot of buzz about this book floating around online, and I'm very curious to see. I had a hard time finding this book. Most of the bookstores in my area were sold out, and I believe I might have got the last copy of this book from the bookstore I found it at. I did find it at a Barnes & Noble. I did have to drive about 30 minutes away to this Barnes & Noble to get it, but I did find it. And I was looking all around the store for where like all the copies were held, and I could not find any, so they put it on hold for me, and I think I might have got the last copy. Not sure, but that's just what I'm feeling because I could not find it anywhere else in the store. Anyways, so this, I don't know much about this, but I've heard it's super scary. I've heard that it has to do with like a demon. And I also read the first couple of pages when my husband was driving me back from the bookstore. I read the first, couple of pages in the book, and it is told from the point of view of a little girl, which I find very, very interesting. I think that's a very nice little twist here. So I'm really pumped to get into this. I am not going to be able to start reading it right now, right away, but when I get a chance, I have some work to do. I have some editing to do for some videos, and I am going to be taking this book with me wherever I go. So I'm hoping to be able to get started as soon as possible. It feels like it's going to read pretty quickly. You can see, since it's told from the point of view of the little girl, there's a lot of spaces between the words. So it is like a 367 page book, but I feel like, there's lots of spacing. It's probably going to be fairly easy to read. So really excited to get into this. If you have read this book, oh my gosh, let me know what you think because really excited. I hope this book scares me.
If you guys have seen any of our vlogs as of recent, I do talk about this book a few times, wanting to read it. Have heard lots of good things, but also have heard how much it's creepy and scary. As you can see, it is light out. Perfect time to start it so that I'm not, late at night trying to start this and freaking myself out. I am looking forward to seeing just how good this is and how creepy it is, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to take breaks in between if it's too creepy and read something lighter. I tend to do that when things are getting too creepy. Come along as we see just how scary this book is. A couple things. So as you get in here, you see a door. It looks like, I don't know, that's already giving me a creepy vibe. But I noticed something, and it's an author's note. The unique format of this book is intentional, left justified for narration action, indentation for dialogue with spaces between, all in the name of perspective. The story is told by a child. I know that people online were saying that it was bothering them the way the dialogue was in here, so I didn't realize there was an author's note that he actually talks about it. Just wanted to show you that I have my creepy wooden bookmark with horror. It even has some pumpkins on there. The way the light's hitting it, it makes it look like it's glowing. This is what they mean, like the indentation for the dialogue, and then left just justified for the action. Digging on in. All right, I'm about 50 pages in, and there are definitely creepy moments, but I wouldn't say that I am necessarily scared or freaked out or anything like that just yet. There are definitely creepy moments, for sure. And I just have to say that if I had a child, a daughter, and she was saying goodnight to other mommy, I would not be laughing about it. There's a part where she talks about, Bella is the narrator, and she's a child. You don't really know how old she is, but I'm guessing like 8 through 10. And she says goodnight to other mommy, and they just kind of laugh about it. And yeah, I don't think I would automatically, I'd probably move. I would not be entertaining the thought of some other mommy spirit, whatever this is, being in my house. And I'm sure they think she's just making it up. And it's always easy to say when you're an outside perspective, but I've seen enough horror movies in my life that I'd move. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit more, but not too much more, because I'm going to sleep soon, and just in case there's any nightmares involved. But I will update you guys when I have more read. I read another chunk. I am past 100 pages now, and it's still creepy. I started to get really creeped out right where I stopped last night, and I thought, I shouldn't be reading this before bed. This is not a book I feel to be reading if it's dark outside. I still don't feel like it's super scary, or it's just really creepy. But we'll see how much worse it gets. I am up to chapter 38, and it's just gotten creepier and creepier. I don't have much left. I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish today. And I feel like it's this eerie sense of building up to something, and I don't know what that's going to be. I don't feel scared yet, but I do feel apprehensive as to something really bad's going to happen. So let's see what happens.
I am currently on chapter 36, maybe. I don't know. I have about 20% of the book left. And the beginning of the book was creepy. It was stressing me out a little bit. You have this little girl who is seeing this thing called Other Mommy in her bedroom, and she just calls it Other Mommy. And it's really terrifying. And I was been stressed out about how is she going to convince someone that this thing is real, because we all see these horror movies where these little kids either see something creepy or do something creepy, and the adults just don't believe them. And so that was kind of stressing me out. I will say that about, I think, chapter 17 or so, you kind of start feeling a little bit better, but then things get scary for the whole family. And it's just, there's like a little backstory too going on between the parents. And I think this book's been really fun. It's been fun and it has kept my interest. It's short chapters. There's lots of space between all of the lines, and the book is written from the point of view of a little girl. So it's like the little girl is writing the book, and I find that very different and interesting too. I'm really liking that part of it. So the book's going by very fast. It is a very quick read. I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit and read, but I think if I had just like maybe another hour to read, I could probably finish this last 20% of the book. The total book, like if you could sit down and read it all at once, I think it would go pretty quickly if you had like, 3 or 4 hours to just sit and read. But I don't. My life is full of little 10, 15, 20-minute moments where I get to sit and read books a little bit of a time. So that's just my reality. All right, so I'm gonna finish up my last 20% of the book, and then I will check back in with you guys with my final thoughts and opinions, and we'll see how the ending goes. I am curious to know how the ending is going to end, because I just don't see an end right now. I don't see an end right now for these people, so I'm very curious to see what's going to happen.
I'm grabbing groceries at Dorothy Lane. It's one of my favorite places to shop. It's local to Dayton, but they have such a beautiful pumpkin and flower display that I need to show you guys, especially since I'm doing, kind of a Halloween creepy inspired book by reading Incidents Around the House. So check it out. Well, I saw this. It's right by chapter 43. And at first I thought, okay, this is part of the story and something is going to reference, like maybe this other mommy is going to like come through the book or something, take over the story. But I don't see anything on any other pages. It doesn't seem to, nothing on these pages I feel references this. So is this just a defective copy of ink or something? I gotta ask Amanda if she has this on hers. But it was freaking me out because I was like, what is that? But I think it's just ink.
Hey y'all, editing Amanda here. That's definitely a defect. That was not in my copy, but I do think it's kind of cool how Jen thought maybe that's other mommy coming through the page. She might be onto something. Maybe they should have done that.
I finished Incidents Around the House and I'm just kind of processing what I read because I don't know if it was unexpected, the ending. I just needed to think about it some. And I'm going to come back with final thoughts. I am going to run and get some mums. I don't think I'm going to get pumpkins yet. It still seems kind of early for it. But the place I'm going to has pumpkins, so I may cave and get some pumpkins from the front porch. But when I was at Dorothy Lane the other day and I showed you guys all their beautiful displays, it made me want to decorate the porch. So we are headed over there and I will show you guys what I get.
final thoughts. I have finished Incidents Around the House, and I don't know, this book, I mean, I kind of understand what the hype is about, but I also kind of don't. I really liked the beginning of this book. It started off so interesting and thrilling. I loved the voice of the little girl. Actually, I really loved the voice of the little girl, and I loved the little girl throughout the entire book. I really liked her character. So no complaints there with that. The only thing is, I felt like it was just, I don't know, like I just didn't feel amazed by the book. I didn't feel like amazed or shocked with any of the revelations or any of the things going on. I really didn't feel scared. I feel like the concept of this book is disturbing, but I mean, it's very disturbing to think about demons and, you know, trying to um haunt or scare or possess little children. That is obviously very nothing to laugh at, but I just feel like, I don't know, this book was a little bit of a letdown. I felt like the beginning was really interesting. I loved the little girl's character. I loved the little girl. And children in books can be kind of so-so. It's really hard, I think, for an adult to sort of go into the mind of a child and write children realistically. But I think he did a good job with that. I really, really liked this child in this book, and I think the author did a very good job telling the story from her point of view. But I just wasn't amazed or thrilled or really scared with any of the developments or any of the things that went on in the book. Any of the twists didn't really, you know, shock or scare me. And the ending, I felt like the ending, I didn't want the ending to end that way. I felt like it was gonna end that way, especially when I got down to just like a few pages left. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna end this way. This is what's gonna happen. I didn't want it to end that way because I just felt like it. Sorry, there's a school bus, I think, going outside my house, picking up some kids. Anyways, I just felt like the ending was a little bit of an easy ending. It was the easy way to end the book. I wanted something a little more. I wanted something a little more imaginative. I wanted, you know, something a little, I mean, I don't want to say happier because this is a horror book. It's not that I didn't mind the way that it ended, but I just felt like this book could have ended bigger. I feel like there could have been more stuff going on. I feel like it could have ended a little bit differently with a little bit bigger bang. And that's just my opinion of the ending. I just felt like I wanted more. The ending just kind of ended, and I felt kind of like, well, what was the point of the book? So overall, entertaining read, very quick read. I'm glad I read it. I've been kind of slumpy, and I feel like just being able to read this book very quickly has helped push me a little bit. This book was pretty good. It wasn't the best horror book. I didn't think it was really scary, but overall, very quick read, very interesting. I do think it's worth your time. So I would say if you're interested in something like this, I didn't think it was terribly scary. I know a lot of people are hyping it up to be like super scary. I didn't think so, but again, I also read horror books, so maybe just for me it wasn't scary. But let me know what you all think. Did you get scared of this book? Did you like it? Did you find it creepy? Was it amazing? What do y'all think? Let me know.
Back, you saw what I had got when I went to get the mums. I almost got pumpkins just because there were so many, and I get pumpkins every year, but I feel like it's still a little early for that. So I decided to save that for another trip, another day. And I got some beautiful mums to put on the front porch. Back to talk about the whole book as a whole, Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. I have been ruminating on this book for several days, and it is one of those types of books that you end up thinking a lot about after you read. Overall, I enjoyed reading it. I thought it was a perfect, creepy, spooky read, and at times there were some terrifying things happening that's perfect for fall season, Halloween, October, all of that. If you like really creepy and at times terrifying books, I believe you would enjoy this. Why I keep hesitating is the ending, and I'm not sure how I feel how everything wrapped up. There was definitely a feeling of like a slow burn. It was paced in a way that kept building and building the tension. And there were, I would almost call them jump scares at times, where you do have moments where it's a little more fast paced, but then it like will kind of flatten out, but it's building. It builds up to the end, and I feel like it was a decent ending, but I still feel there was room to interpret things how you might want to interpret them. And those kind of endings always make me really think and ponder how I really feel about the book as a whole, because, I don't know how much I felt it was a clear cut, this is what happened. The other reason why I keep hesitating is I feel through what I went through in college. I was an English major, and we very much interpreted books in a lot of different ways and saw things beyond just what is presented to the reader, and hidden meanings and choice of narrative. There are a lot of things that you can deconstruct a book or any kind of narrative. I feel like I was almost fighting that, because I do have a feeling it might have another story here where almost like hidden meanings and hidden, I don't know if Josh Malerman put them there or not, and that's where I always struggle, is am I inferring something that he didn't intend? And I guess that's always the best thing about books, is readers can read them in so many different ways, and usually beyond what the author even intended. But I feel that there is a deeper meaning to everything that we were presented in this story. Could be wrong, but I was starting to see things in a different way the more and more I was mulling over everything I have read. I would love to keep going and talk about that, but the problem is I feel that would end up giving away information and spoiling some of the things instead of just talking about it in general. And I know we can always put this is spoilers on the screen, but I think a lot of times people aren't necessarily looking for spoilers or looking to see what something was about, that they just want to get a general sense of, did the reader enjoy this? Is this something I should try? And they're not necessarily looking at the deeper meanings of books. On the surface, this definitely, I kept imagining this as a horror movie, and I felt it would work really well as a horror movie. I think they'd have to CGI some things. I think Other Mommy would have to be CGI'd, but I feel it would definitely make a very good horror movie, because there is just so much that could just scare the crap out of the audience, that they would, if it was done right, I think it would do really well. Overall, I believe I'm going to give it like a 3.5, 4 stars. But I just think I almost felt like I was expecting more at the end. And I think that was the other thing that kept gnawing my thoughts about this novel. I feel like I don't know what I exactly expected at the end, but I don't know if I expected what we got. I don't know. And again, I almost said something that would probably be a spoiler. There's just some things that I wanted to almost get answers for, and you don't really get an answer for some things. It was a very solid book. I do feel like it was well written, and if you like creepy, scary novels and want to feel that, then I definitely feel this book is for you, for sure. Thank you for watching as we get creeped out by a horror book as we're heading into the fall spooky season. Keep an eye on our channel if you like that type of thing. I know I love horror and thrillers a lot, and it's mostly what I feel like I'm drawn to, especially the last couple years. And for October, we're gonna do a Halloween challenge where we're gonna be reading a lot more of that genre and just embracing the fall for what it is. So keep an eye on our channel for more of that content. Thank you so much again, and until next time.